So we've left just about every Spider-Man figure in a long-term pose, but today we're going to do something a little different. Leaving my Hot Toys Darth Vader in a year-long pose and finding out if the materials of the pleather can stand the test of time. And today we're about to find out. Alright everyone, so as the intro mentioned, we are going to be posing this Darth Vader for 1 year. Yes, I posed this figure in about September of 2023. And just to show some stone cold proof, we got a video from September 14th, and you can zoom in and see that it is in that same pose that you're going to be seeing today. And it has been even longer than a year because it's now October. So we're going to see how this figure holds up because a lot of people have concerns with pleather on figures and how they can flake. So on top of this maybe flaking, we're also having it in that kind of arm bent pose to see if there's going to be any damage under that. We're not only looking at just one figure, but two Darth Vader figures because I do have the Kenobi version. This one is, I believe, in like a 2 to 3 month pose, so it's not going to be the year one. But I figured since we're doing a Star Wars posing test experiment, we might as well use all the Vaders we can. And to give a quick background as to why this is important is because Hot Toys usually get a ton of backlash on using pleather instead of real genuine leather on their figures because they do tend to flake and damage. And this is not a conspiracy, it is a genuine fact. There are photos that I'm going to show right here where some Vaders are just absolutely destroyed. And honestly, it's really sad to see. It like makes my skin crawl. But like I said, seeing all of these photos and history and evidence of people having this issue, it gave me the idea of what would happen if I did have him in kind of an extensive pose and it was just sitting in my room for longer than a year. And I think this will be an incredible experiment because judging from the comments, a lot of people will say this is very useful because now they're tempted to pose their figures. So we're going to find out if you should or should not pose your Darth Vader figures. So here he is in the light box, and for people who couldn't tell, I'm actually using the Kenobi Vader head on the Empire Strikes Back body. The Empire Strikes Back is actually the first Hot Toy I've ever owned, so it's pretty sentimental to have him standing here. But like I said, this was a set it and forget it figure because I've had him posed like this for a year plus, and I mean, it's the iconic, I am your father's scene from Empire Strikes Back, so I figured why change it up. But this would be the first time I've had a figure posed for this long and finding out if there is any damage or creasing. So before we get into it, hit that like button, send your prayers, and let's get to it. Slowly but surely, let's extend this arm out and see if there is anything. And to be honest, hold on. For 365 days, that doesn't look bad at all. I mean, you can definitely tell there is that crease mark on the elbow from it being there for so long, but I just think that this would have been a lot worse than I thought. This is the first Vader we have. We're going to go into the next one, but to be honest, I'm very shocked. Vader figures tend to get a bad rap when it comes to posing because of the type of materials they use, but in my case, it was nothing at all, and this hand is so annoying. Whew, I was crashing out a bit there, guys. If you collect Vader figures, you know how damn annoying those hands are, so I just got them out of the way, but I took out the other arm as well, and you can see that it just has like kind of one-ish line, but like I said, I mean, given how long this was in this pose, I was just expecting a lot worse, and I'm very, very happy to see. Apart from some minor creases, I just don't really see the issue here. This is me personally, though. I mean, I showed my other buddy, and he said that it looks pretty wrecked, but I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's kind of just a little worn out. Let me know in the comments, though. Maybe I'm crazy, but for 1 year, I think this is perfectly serviceable. But I do want to mention that there are other instances where these figures can damage, and that is the temperature and humidity in your room. This is very important because a lot of people mention this. You want to make sure that figures that have pleather are in the right environments, because if they're in an area that has a high humidity or a high temperature, you can face peeling like I showed in these other photos. So make sure that your figures are in the right environment. Clearly for me, I've never really tested my environment and area, but I'm in California and this pose was like this for 1 year. I have no flaking or peeling at all. So for my instance, I'm safe. I'm safe with posing Star Wars because you can see right here, there's really nothing at all to be worried about. That said though, we are not done because we have to go to the Kenobi Vader, which is in a different type of arm pose, and we're gonna see how this elbow turns out. Again, to reiterate, this wasn't a year long, but I think it was like 3 to 5 months. I've had this figure for quite some time and never changed up the pose, and you can see that it looks pretty bunched up so far, so when taking him out, I'm a little worried to see how this one turns out. Side note, this figure is an absolute work of art. I mean, the sculpt with Anakin half-mast is just, it's just so beautiful. All right, enough glazing. Let's showcase how you can pose any Star Wars figure out there. Oh, okay, let's pump the brakes because you gotta wait, you gotta let it heal, let's relax, let's not torch me, don't destroy me in the comments yet. No, but honestly, whenever you get the figure right out of the pose, it does always look like 50 times worse than it actually is. Like I said, I'm still kind of waiting a bit. It's not changing that much yet. Wait, hold on. No, I'm just teasing you guys. This is a lot better than what it was just at, but I do see some damage on his back cape here. Nope, never mind. That's sloppy ass Hot Toys battle damage. But moving to the back of the arms, you're kind of used to the occasional arm extension crease. It's really nothing serious at all, but let's check back in 20 minutes. Okay, so shortly after, you can see it is in a ton of better shape than it was just at. I still do see some kind of like ridges and creases here and there, but again, like I said, for the extension I had it for, I don't think this is a deal breaker at all. It's definitely not in the shape I've seen other figures at, but like I said, I think this gives us a clear indicator of why this does happen. It has to be people's environments. Now, I'm not calling myself a figure scientist because there's people who know tons and tons more knowledge than I do, but like I said, for people who are scared to pose Darth Vader figures, as long as it is in the right environment, temperature, and humidity wise, which when going off my knowledge of researching it is about 35 to 65% humidity, you are going to be in a safe area. I'm going to grant this one the posing pass because it looks like you are going to be perfectly fine with a long-term pose here as long as it's in the right environment. That said though, for the price we're paying for these Hot Toys figures, it is completely justified for people to want genuine leather with a Darth Vader figure, and people are willing to pay that extra amount if needed. So I don't really know why Hot Toys cheapen out and make these materials that will damage stuff that's $300 to $400. That's another topic for another day though. Hopefully you all found this video useful. I didn't want to go with Spider-Man again. I wanted to change it up. And I know a lot of people have been wanting to see other stuff. Possibly an in-art Superman could be next up because a lot of people want to see how the materials hold on that fragile suit. So if you want to see it, I'll keep it coming. So drop it down in the comments below. But ultimately, unless there's some other factor to flaking or peeling, you should be safe to pose Darth Vader figures minus a couple of creases here and there. This one should be very great to pose with. If you did enjoy this little experiment, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and bang that bell notification so you don't miss future content. I love whenever I do this series and I get comments saying I'm liking the video because this guy's risking his figures for us. I just find it hilarious. So thank you all for the love. Be safe out there and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.